Hi everyone, this is Aruna. In this session, we are going to learn the poem Leave This Chanting and Singing and Telling of Beats by Rabindranath Tagore, which has been taken from his song collection called Gitanjali. Rabindranath Tagore, one of the most famous Indian poets who doesn't need much introduction. He was a Bengali poet, writer, music composer, and a painter. He started to write poems at the age of 8 and released his poems under the pseudonym Banu Singha Thakur at the age of 16. He was the first Indian to win the Nobel Prize in Literature. His poetical works are dealing with the theme of spirituality. He is referred as the Bard of Bengal. He has the honor of composing the national anthem of two countries. One is India and the other one is Bangladesh. Though he has authored so many books, Gitanjali, Gora and Garbar are his most famous works. The prescribed poem Leave This Chanting is taken from Gitanjali, a collection of 156 Bengali poems written by Tagore in 1910. Gitanjali was translated into English by Tagore and given the title Song Offerings. Song Offerings was published in 1912 by the Indian Society of London. But this English collection has only 103 poems, and the introduction section of Song Offerings was written by W.B. Yeats. And Leave This Chanting is the 11th poem of that English version. The English Gitanjali became popular in the West after its translation and received Nobel Prize for Literature in 1913. Reading of the poem. Leave this chanting and singing and telling of beads. Whom dost thou worship in this lonely dark corner of a temple with doors all shut? Open thine eyes and see thy God is not before thee. He is there where the tiller is tilling the hard ground and where the pathmaker is breaking stones. He is with them in sun and in shower, and his garment is covered with dust. Put off thy holy mantle, and even like him, come down on the dusty soil. Let me summarize the stanzas. The poet advises the priests to give up their counting of beads and their singing and chanting of mantras. He also urges them stop the worship of God in a secluded corner of the temple with their eyes half shut. He sharply states, open your eyes and see God is not there before you. God is not to be found in this way. God lives with the humble and downtrodden people like the tillers of the land and pathmakers who work hard in breaking stones. He lives with those who toil in sun and shower and whose clothes are soiled with dust. If the priest wants to see God, he must come out of his temple, give up his holy robes, and work with the humble tillers of the soil in rain and sun. Reading of the poem Deliverance. Where is this deliverance to be found? Our Master himself has joyfully taken upon him the bonds of creation. He is bound with us all forever. Come out of thy meditations and leave aside thy flowers and incense. What harm is there if thy clothes become tattered and stained? Meet him and stand by him in toil and in sweat of thy brow. The poet says that the ultimate goal of the spiritual people is to attain deliverance. Deliverance means the liberation of soul from the cycle of birth and death. But God himself is bound to all of us in chains of love. He himself is not free and has joyfully bound himself to the work of creation and to the objects he has created. Then how can a man ever hope to be free from his bondings? The poet urges the spiritual people to leave the ritualistic flowers and incense sticks which are not going to serve their purpose of seeing God, because the poet believes that one can find God not in the temple but with the workers who are working whole day under the hot sun. He also questions them what harm is there if they work under the sun and if their clothes become dirt. Even when their clothes are torn or stained, there is no harm because they are going to see the Creator in the sweat on their foreheads, which will be the result of their toil. Tagore, through his poem Leave This Chanting, conveys that participation in the activity of life is essential for the realization of God. Nobody can see God inside the temple by simply sitting and chanting mantras, as God is present among the laborers who work under the hot sun and rain. This poem, Leave This Chanting, is an important work in world literature due to his exposing the pseudo zeal of worshippers everywhere. Here is a list of some archaic words used in this poem. Please go through it for the meaning. We have come to the end of the session. This poem is an eye opener for all of us to really understand where God is existing. He is existing not in the temple but with the people who really work hard. With this note, I would like to end up the session. Stay safe, stay home. Thank you all.